All right. Welcome to the barbershop. I'm Keaton Daniels, joined alongside Kaymon former, and here we are at the best barbershop in my biased opinion, TPS Pro Grooming. Well, other cut, but they groom. Come see my brother Tone and the other great barbers. Tell them I sent you. Look forward to seeing you guys soon. But today we're here with Kaymon. We're gonna have a conversation. Conversation that me and you always have, but this time the world get to see it.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
We're gonna talk about your upbringing from small town, East Texas, Pittsburgh. Let's start off and just talk about what was it like growing up there.
Man, I think with Pittsburgh, it was one of the best experiences that I could have asked for growing up, especially starting out, as a Section 8 baby. Like, it's a lot of different challenges that comes with that, but there's a lot of different benefits that come with it as well. And one thing is community. So my mom and my dad's family, both of them are from Pittsburgh. So I never went without like a village.
Right.
So that was always number one. Like I was loved. I never went without food, never went without cousins. So it was like I always felt that sense of belonging.
Absolutely.
And so that's very major. And I think even with East Texas as a whole, I think that's something that we take pride in because it's like that may not be your blood, but you still gonna treat them as family. So I would definitely say that, man. I would say just faith, having that faith growing up in the church, being in the church, bro. You gotta, believe in something,
Absolutely.
whether it's external or internal, whatever it is. Like I think that played a huge role in who I am today. And then at the end of the day, man, I think I seen like people hustling. Like I seen people hustling. I seen people going after like their dreams, building their dreams, even staying in the same town with a billionaire, Bo Pilgrim. Like at the beginning of my life, like living in Pittsburgh, I didn't know the magnitude of how big that was, how major that was.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you stay 5 miles away from a billionaire, bro. So it was like I didn't understand that, but just seeing, seeing the people, that I was influenced by living out their dreams, whether it was wrong, whether it was right, still influence over me. And I feel like that's how I became who I am today.
I want to piggyback off of kind of what you said, and I want to ask you a question. From seeing a billionaire and then also seeing the lower end of the spectrum, how did that shape or mold you to who you are today and what has transpired, or what not transpired, what has given you your motivation?
I feel like at the end of the day, like really experiencing both of those different lifestyles, at the end of the day, we're all human. And so like, I'm not afraid to go to Invest Fest and be in this room of all these millionaires, even if I can go in there with $10 in my pocket, because I understand like I can bring value. I bring value to life. I bring value to the room. You just got to know like what it is that you bring value to as far as like if you're coming from the Section 8 world, it's like, all right, you probably got more courage than somebody that was spoon fed. You got more heart than somebody that had, trust fund. You got more will. You got more opportunities as far as like going to figure things out on your own, which is, I feel like that's a strength too. But it's a lot of pros and cons with both of those worlds.
Gotcha. When you look back at your childhood, what parts of your life shaped you to who you are today?
Man, I think it was a lot that really shaped me to who I am today. I would start with like the resilience that my family showed, especially when things weren't going the way that we expected them to go, or when it was just unexpected adversity that hit us. Like just being able to see my mom, my stepdad, my aunties, my uncles, like all my cousins, like even my dad, my step, like everybody, like seeing their adversity that they were going to, it just kind of built me. And I would also say, like, I think Pittsburgh is a special place as well. Although it's small, you got like 4,500 people there, but I went to school with like a diversity. Like I went to school with Mexicans, whites, blacks, and even some Asians. And so I'm able to like understand people whenever I do end up leaving East Texas. I'm able to understand a different culture other than my culture.
Gotcha. Now with you being from Pittsburgh, just being from East Texas, a lot of people think that we're small with country. Do you feel like growing up you had a bigger vision than others that surrounded you, that was around you?
Man, I think I am country. I'm gonna definitely say that. I'm definitely country. But I think with me living in the country or growing up in the country and then having some experience living in the city, I think the thing with the country is we really only can imagine.
Absolutely.
So we can sit there, we can sit back, and we can just imagine what it feels like. If you got that imagination, then you well off
Yeah.
in the country.
Yeah.
In the city, I feel like you got exposure, like you exposed to what's out here in the world. So I do feel like if you can use your imagination, that means that you're thinking for yourself and you're using your creativity. I think that gives you a great advantage in the world, and I feel like that was one of the advantages that I had. Like I have that creative advantage in this world.
Totally agree with you on that. I like that. All right. Being from Pittsburgh, being from a small town, you wasn't the tallest out there on the football field, but wherever you lacked in height, you brought the heart. What made you decide to go to college, and what was your passion, and what was you looking forward to getting out of college?
Man, my first love obviously was, well, most people, especially kids, is basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So basketball was something that I thought I was going to play in college. And so it's a guy by the name DeMarcus Harris. He's from Pittsburgh. He just won the state championship as the defensive coordinator with North Crowley.
Okay.
And so growing up around him and my uncle was real cool. And I remember I was probably like in the 10th, 11th grade. And I remember him telling my uncle, man, I know he loved basketball, but like if he focused on football, he got a spot and got a chance. But it was crazy because like I was going to these visits for basketball. Like I go to this Baylor camp, I'll be in the All-Star game after the camp. I go to Texas A&M Commerce camp, be in that All-Star game. I go to SFA on an unofficial visit, but they still showing love. So it's like in my mind, I'm like, I'm finna go play basketball. I'm finna go hoop. But then it just came around. It's like something hit me. I'm like, nah, I'm finna go play football. And like all my cousins, all the people I looked up to, like they went and played football. But came around senior year, but I ain't have no scholarships. Like nobody, like my height definitely, kept me out of the board or whatever, the recruitment board. And then, coming from a small school and stuff like that. So I just had a contact. I had a cousin, Sean Cooper, your cousin as well. He had a contact to a college. And, he put in the word, and then that's really how I got in. Like, I had to go try out as a walk-on, and then ended up getting in that way. But if I hadn't had that contact, like, I probably just went to school. Like, I was going to school regardless. Like, I was going to go to college, but I thought I was going to hoop, ended up going to play football.
So walking on to the Savage Storm, Southeastern Oklahoma State.
Yes, indeed.
Man, how was it for you as far as having that chip on your shoulder, being that walk-on, having something to prove not only to yourself but to the coaches, to the players that are around you, because they're probably looking at you as just another number, but you know that you're better than that. So talk about the advantages, or just your mindset going into college.
Man, my whole thing was, so I had went and tried out. I want to say it was like March, like right before I was going to graduate high school. And I got the word that I made the team back in like, I want to say like April or right before graduation. So like that whole period before that, like after football season, during basketball season, I ain't gonna lie, I was miserable, bro. Cause I ain't know, like it was too much uncertainty. So I ain't know what was going on. And then it was like when I got that news, I made the team. That goes back to that sense of belonging. It's like I got a team now. Like I got opportunity. Absolutely. And so one thing about me, and it's something I've been learning too, is like if I just have the slightest opportunity, bro, I probably ain't gonna kick the door down, but I'm gonna peek through that mug and slowly open it. Absolutely. And I feel like that's what happened when I got to college. Like I'm a walk on, but I ended up going there early during the summertime before school even started. So like a lot of these dudes, like, who is this dude? Like, like I came out there, I stood out. I did stand out because I was quicker than everybody. That was like one of my advantages. But at the end of the day, they like, who is this kid, man? Like, and so I just stuck around, man. And then fall camp came. I couldn't even go through fall camp because I wasn't on the team officially. So I went through summer, didn't go through fall camp. I'm watching fall camp from the stands. So it may have sounded like a bad thing, but I was really seeing it from a different perspective. I was getting those mental reps, and I'm out there eyeing. I'm like, all right, he's straight, da. So that was a great thing to really just kind of have a delayed gratification. So it just made me fight for my spot even harder, and it was like, when I get this spot, like I'm not giving it up because I done been through some things, go get it.
Man, Me and you have said this before, and I've also said this to Tom. Delay is not denial.
Real talk.
So the fact that your opportunity is getting delayed at that time, it's not a denial.
Not at all.
You taking full advantage of it. You watching your peers, you watching your opposition, and you taking mental notes and you getting your mental reps. You know I can beat this corner on this move right here. I got him when I get the pass on
Real
when
talk.
I get down there. So you just took advantage of that opportunity. How long was it before they finally said, "All right, Kaymon, come sign this paper. Come get on scholarship"?
Man, so that fall, I was on scout team, and I'm going against the ones, like the people that's actually playing on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, like I was making plays, like, and it was against dudes that was like all conference type stuff. And it just, after that fall camp was over, after the fall season was over with, that's when that spring roll around. And that's when you kind of get your first shot.
Absolutely.
So I was like number 3 on the depth chart. I'm probably getting like 2 plays. I'm probably getting like 2 plays of practice, but it's like I'm knowing the plays because I'm writing them down like on my wristband and stuff like that. So it was like I know I gotta be sharp, like especially if I get any type of opportunity. So I was started making plays, at the beginning of the spring camp. Then I started seeing my reps increase, and I'm real big on reps. Just make your reps count. I don't care if it's 1, I don't care if it's 10. Just make the reps count. So at the end of the spring count, I'm starting to see like now I'm getting like 10 plays of practice type stuff. And there's just more opportunity to make plays. And so staying after practice, getting the extra catches in, always on time. And I always been like, a good scholar, like, just making sure your grades. I ain't no dummy. I ain't gonna be failing. It's nothing like that. So just taking care of all that, man, it just kind of built up that whole the whole piece of like what they was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he brought me in after that spring camp, and it wasn't a full scholarship, it was a partial, but I was like, man, it's better than what I had.
Absolutely.
So now this is going to make me go even harder. So
Absolutely.
I stayed the whole summer. I just moved into my apartment after that spring, going into the summer, moved into my apartment. So I was there for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like, all right, let's get it. Got a summer job and stuff, so I was comfortable in a way. And then summer came, we working out, and then that's when that fall, it was on then. That's when like we kind of put the world on notice in a way, because first game we had Henderson State, and Henderson, they nationally ranked all the time.
Right.
So we had Henderson State that first game. So I had like 6 catches for about 70 yards, and I'm like, oh dang, like, I could probably do this, bro. Like I'm out there, I'm like, dang, I could really do this, bro. Like it's like you see it in practice. It's like, all right, does it translate to the game? Because I know a lot of people that's they killing it in practice, but it translates to the game.
Absolutely.
So it was like the first game, I'm like, all right, bet. That second game, that's when I got in the end zone 2 times. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh man. Yeah, I'm like, and then I wasn't even feeling that way. It was just the fact of like, dang, I can really do it. And then it was like, I'm starting to get that buzz around, because I'm a freshman, like walk-on freshman. Then when people start to, hear that he'll walk on, that amplified the story even more. So you got this NFL listing me at 5'4". So you got this 5'4" kid, bro, coming from a small East Texas town as a walk-on, and he like, it's a hot start. Mm-hmm. And so that season, bro, probably like the 6th, 7th game, that's when one of my coaches came to me. And he was like, you finna break a record, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, what? I ain't because I keep up with stats, but I wasn't really keeping up with it like that.
Yeah, you was just falling in love with the process.
Yeah, falling in love with the process, exactly. He said, you finna break a record, right? I said, what? And so then, what's crazy is my homeboy, he took me in too, like when I first came out there, his name Anthony Foster. He was another receiver on the team. He ended up breaking the same record. So that last game, we broke the same record. Mm-hmm. So it was the most receptions in the season for that school. And so like we broke it the same game, and I ended up having like 2 more catches, than him. So it was all love. So they ended up putting me like in the record books and stuff for that. And I was just like, man, that's crazy to have that fast start. Although it took a lot to get there.
Yeah,
it took a lot to get there.
So when you look back on that season, or the first 2 years, you come from you're a college walk-on, mm-hmm. to now you're breaking records. Where is your mindset? Where's your thought process now at this time?
At that time, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I'm just like, Bro, I can't be no one hit wonder, bro.
You still
Like,
got more work to do, right?
yeah, I'm like, I ain't never trying to be no has been or no one hit wonder, so I wasn't going for that. But what was crazy was that second year, that like going into my sophomore year, they ended up bringing some JUCOs,
Mm-hmm.
which made our team better.
Yeah.
So like the first year it was just kind of like me and Foster. We had some other pieces, but that second year we was loaded on offense. It was me and Foster. Foster came back. Then we had a guy named Frankie Okafor. He ended up playing with the Cardinals,
Mm-hmm.
so he ended up coming in at receiver. And then we had a running back. He ran the fastest time in the NFL draft, whatever, in 2016. Then we had another running back that had just came in. Then we had Ryan Polite.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Polite was the quarterback at DeSoto, and he ended up going to UTSA, then transferred to JUCO, then came. And so we had all of them. So my numbers went down because you got to spread the ball out. And so at first it was kind of uncomfortable for me because I'm like, dang, everything was running through me. Now it's kind of like spread it out, but we was winning more games. So I was like, that was helping out a lot. You winning more games. So that was my whole mindset, was not being a one-hit wonder, not going into like no sophomore slump. But I was better. Like overall, I was better, although my stats didn't really show it.
Gotcha. All right, so you get to your first couple of years of college, and you're off to this hot start. When you broke these records, and you and your teammates, what did that validation feel like? And is it something that did it feel like you had more to prove? What was that moment like? And talk about the hunger and the process still.
Yeah, I feel like there was always the thought in my mind, there's more to prove.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that whole journey I was putting on for the underdogs. And if you really identify people, like everybody's some type of underdog in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're a parent, whether you somebody that's still in school, whether you somebody first time college graduate, like whatever you may be going through, you some type of underdog. Somebody done counted you out
Right.
at some part. And so I felt like as I matured in what I was doing, I felt like it was deeper than just the football. It's like people are watching my style of play and they're gaining that inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And on them Saturdays, you can gain that inspiration, but you can take that inspiration to your household. On that Sunday, you take it to your workplace on that Monday through Friday. So, like, as I matured, that was something that I really realized. But there was always something I feel like it was just, I always thought that it was just deeper than the sports, man. Like, it had to have some type of purpose to it. And so, like, I was breaking the records, this and that, but it's just like just showing up every day like you ain't did nothing, really. That's really how I was coming at it.
Yeah, that's the thing that I love about football. Football to me, it's the greatest teacher of life. You have your ups and downs. You have to rely on team. You have to rely on your team. You know better than the other 10 people that's out there, because if you do your job and they don't, that's not a successful play. You need that group, and you need that group. You need that teamwork, that camaraderie to be able to be successful. And then after you have success, guess what? You gotta line it back up and do it all
Do it
over
again. Can
again.
you do it again?
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. So it's never. That's why to me, I always preach about the process. Fall in love with the process. The results will take care of itself. So that's just one of those things. I just have to put my 2 cents.
Nah, that was awesome actually, cause like that was like one of our hashtags. Like each year you got your motto and your hashtag and stuff like that. And the process, like we really became process babies. Like that was cause Sean Cooper was our strength and conditioning coach, our cousin.
Yeah.
And so like that was one thing we really harped on, was trusting the process, being where your feet are, and just realizing at the end of the day, bro, like that college don't need you.
Yes.
Like you need this college.
Absolutely.
So don't come in here, just because they ain't got the best resources that, your friend at UT may have. Like, don't come in here ungrateful for your opportunity.
Absolutely.
And there was a lot of people that came in and were ungrateful for the opportunity, and it just didn't play out the way it should have played out for them. Or it did play out how it played out, but, they didn't get the most of it. So, those are just different lessons that, like you said, the game of football teaches. And at the end of the day, that is the ultimate game of life as far as, like, teaching you the game of life, relying on other people. If the line don't block, you ain't getting that ball past 10 yards.
Right.
You feel me? If you don't catch the ball, then you just let the whole team down, turnovers on down. Like, it's a lot that goes into that game, man, that I was very fortunate enough to learn, but have mentors and coaches that help you learn throughout that process.
So when you broke the record, I know the spotlight is on you now.
Oh, yeah.
What what did that spotlight bring, and did it fix anything as far as, your mindset or your team's mindset, or just talk about
Yeah.
Just talk about what it brought to you.
I mean, it definitely brings a lot of love, but you also got that hate too. Because you gotta remember, like, I'm coming in as a walk on. People was already there, upperclassmen, so they really ain't getting they shine on like they supposed to or thought they should have been. So a lot come with that. And then even after that freshman year, I do remember we played Henderson again that second year. Remember, I got off that first game against Henderson my freshman year. And then that second game we played Henderson, it was on ESPN. And so they had me like on the ESPN, like the headline. I'm like, and I didn't know it until like that Saturday morning. I woke up, somebody sent it like, hey, bro, like, you on ESPN, bro. And I'm like, bro, I wasn't expecting that. So now it's like, all right, bro, now like the spotlight, real life on you, bro. Like, you can't be playing with like this opportunity anymore. Like, even if you was, like, you really got to take this serious because people are looking at you to succeed and fail at the same time. And then you gotta really continue to prove it to yourself that you belong here. And so that was the whole thing, bro. It's like, what purpose is like, and I was faith driven too, so I'm always thinking about like, what's the purpose of this? Like Absolutely. At the end of the day.
Absolutely. So just kind of put a cap on your college career, your college experience. What did it teach you? What did you get out of your college career, from beginning to end, and what has it taught you about yourself today?
So that whole college career with the hot start, and then over time just staying consistent those 4 years, just showing up, staying consistent. I ended up breaking 2 more records my senior year. I ended up breaking the conference catches, and then ended up breaking the all-time career catches at the school. And so it really just showed me stay consistent, bro. Like, you get in there, you get your opportunity. Can you show up each and every day? And can you win? Like I'm waking up, like, same mindset now. Like, I'm waking up and I'm declaring greatness, like, every day, like, nothing less. Like, I'm trying to win today, whatever that looks like from my perspective and how I feel. Like, I'm trying to win today each and every time I wake up. And I feel like that's something that everybody can take and apply to some part of their life, is stay consistent and win the day.
I love it. That's good. And that's deep. That's a great point that you made. One of the things that I always like to say, it takes zero talent to bring forth effort.
Real talk.
If you bring effort every single day, it's going to separate you from the most talented. I was never the most talented safety or whatever I played at the time, but I always brought that effort, and that's what separated me. That's why I was able to play, get my college degree. I tell people I fooled coaches into getting me scholarships, but at the same time,
made it happen. Yeah.
But to get back to the point, literally, it takes no talent to bring forth effort every single day. If you bring forth that effort, your talent is gonna get better. So
that's real though, and that was the thing too, man. Just showing up, like, that takes care of a lot. Not everything, but just showing up to class. Yeah. Like, are you showing up to class to where, let's say, it come down to the end of the semester, you got 60 something, is that teacher gonna remember you being in the front row
Absolutely.
Every single day or 3 or 4 days out the week? Like, that was some stuff that was ingrained in us to where it's like it just would never leave us. And it would be things that we teach to the next generation, whether it's our kids or people that we're leading. So it's just like, it's a blessing. That whole college experience was a blessing, bro.
Yeah. So just, you graduate. Now you're on the tech side of things. You're in the tech world. What did playing football, what did you translate from the football field to the tech field?
Yeah, so even before that, so I ended up graduating early, and I really forgot to say all that. I graduated early. I graduated after my sophomore year of the football season. So I had 2 years of eligibility left after I graduated. So there was a lot of question marks if I was about to leave, like, and go transfer somewhere else. But I just felt like I was so loyal to, like, the opportunity and, like, the people that was there to where I just couldn't just up and leave like that. And then, like, just over time, man, ended up doing a lot of things in the community as well with my roommate and then my other college teammates. So we making, like, buzz in the community that we really real life out there. And so all of those accolades, just kind of bring it back and wrap it up, all of those accolades put me on this list called the All-State Good Works. The same list that Haynes is on. Yes. Like, that was that same team I was on. I was on there, with Deshaun Watson and all of them and Tim Tebow. So we like all of Colin Moore. He was a Rhodes Scholar. All of us in like New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl. So it was like just starting where we started at, bro, to be able to be in the same room with Tim Tebow hanging out and like just seeing that, it just showed that I was different.
Yeah.
And I felt different at that moment too. Like, not saying I was any better, but it was just like I was different because I'm not just an athlete. Like, I can real life go impact communities. I can real life go to the classrooms and make an impact. And it was just like, that's something that those experiences, like, you would just cherish forever. And so now, ending up transitioning from the college to tech. So when I was growing up, my mom always had a computer in the household. So like when I was probably like 11, 12, that's when I really started taking the computer seriously. So I was the CD guy in the neighborhood. So I had like the line wire. Like my cousin put me on that line wire because I used to always ask her to like bring me CDs. She got tired of me asking. She's like, I'm gonna just show you, teach a man how to fish type stuff. Yeah. So she ended up showing me. So I took it back. And I'm on my computer, and I ended up burning, downloading the songs, burning the CDs, and I'm selling it. So like I had that reputation of a hustler at a young age, and so I've always had a passion for tech. And so then I get out of college, and I was still kind of dibbling and dabbling into the whole football. That's why it really didn't work out because I didn't go all in. And so I ended up going all in with the tech. And so I ended up building my first app called Double or More. And so the whole idea was to help couples create date experiences. So it's like, you don't know what to do, you just tell the app, you want to tell it how much you want to spend, tell it what you want to eat, it create the date experiences for you. And so that whole idea, man, it like going into the tech industry introduced me to so many people and so many different experiences. It got me on so many different stages. And so like it was very refreshing because it made me realize I can go from this football to the tech industry. And it's just really principles that I learned in football over to the tech industry. And that was relying on mentors, relying on coaches. Like if we go back to like Durant, Oklahoma, where I went to school, and we go to that small business development center, they'll tell you how many hours I was over there, like getting mentorship. They'll tell you in the library how many hours I stayed in that library until they was closing. And it was just more about like me applying myself, researching, going in there not really knowing, but it was like I had a passion for it and I really, really wanted it. And so I had another mentor. He was from East Texas, Roman Herndon. He's from Mount Pleasant, but I knew him. And so he was the only person, especially that looked like us, that I knew that was in tech at that moment. He worked with Nike now. And so it was just one of those things, picked up the phone, hey, bro, I got this app idea, And he just started investing time and energy into it. And so then it was just like it's been a journey, bro. It's been a journey. And it was a really, it's very challenging because you can sit in these competitions, sit in these rooms, and nobody really look like you. So like,
so you have to stand out.
Yeah, you got to stand out. Yeah. And then part of my story was we broke records in college, like college football. But they looking at it as like, that's football. Why if you so good, why you ain't go pro type stuff? Like, so that was a challenge to where it's like, can you do it in the tech industry though? And so, you got to overcome a lot. But at the end of the day, we wasn't really too focused on like the validation of others. It was just like, I'm proving myself right. Like I made this decision. I decided not to play ball. This is what I'm gonna do. And so that's kind of what we did, and we built up our resume from there.
I got a 2-part question I want to ask you because you dropped some names earlier. I'm gonna rewind and take you back. You talked about Tim Tebow, Deshaun Watson, being at a Division II school, being from Pittsburgh, and you're now on the stage with kids that you see, or at the time, young men that you see playing for national championships or for Heisman, leaders of their team that you see on these big stages. My first question, being from this small town, how did that make you feel as far as your vision wise? Did you feel like you can overcome anything from where you're from? And then how did define the odds in the tech field, or how did you defy those odds being in the tech field, being that you didn't have the same background as everybody else that was there?
Man, to that first question, Like I've been around stars my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Like just growing up, like you got hood, hood celebrities. You got the star. You got first round draft picks that you grew up with. So it's like I've always been comfortable around people with high self esteem and people that may have more success than you, and you're not intimidated by that because you know your journey is your journey. So like being around them, like it was normal, really. Like it was just really like I'm amazed at first. I'm like, dang, bro, like I really like seeing you, like, go win the Natty and the Heisman, this and that. Like, so you amazed at first, but then you start like I'm seeing it from a distance. Like I'm peeping like from the distance, just kind of watching how they move and stuff like that. But it's the same, bro. And I said that too when I came back to Durant and I was still training at C4. I told Coop him that too. I'm like, bro, it was really the same, bro. Like, it was cool and all, but it was at the end of the day, I was comfortable in who I was, and then they was comfortable in who they was, obviously, and it was just like we all came together and we was on a mission because like we was doing a lot of community service, so it was like we really working together as a team, and so you just can't be intimidated by other people's success at the end of the day. And then just going into the tech industry and defying the odds, it was just keeping your head down, bro, and just you gotta be. A wise man told me you gotta be blind, deaf, and then something else whenever you serving. Blind and deaf when you serving. Like you just gotta have your head down. You ain't heard nothing. You just focused on your lane, and that's all you focused on at the end of the day. And so, I mean, you gonna hear the chatter though.
Well, speaking on what that wise man told you, did that turn you into being a great leader that you are today, or you feel like you are today?
I think I've been being built as a leader, even in Pittsburgh. Like just having that respect from others, being one of the hardest workers in the room. Always at the front of the line. Always having the pride stickers on Friday nights. Like all of that kind of just built me into being that leader. And then it was just I always had the leadership ability. It's just like when I went in, especially at college, it was kind of like I wasn't following, but it was like I'm in the background, leading in the background type stuff.
For sure.
And so then going into like the whole tech industry, it's like, bro, you the CEO. Like you really the head, you really the athletic director, you the CEO of the company. So like everything moving the way you want it to move at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It was a lot of growing pains though. A lot of things I had to learn, man, and like I said, it just made me who I am today.
One of my thoughts, or one of my thoughts that I carry with me on a daily. In order to be a great leader, you must first know how to follow. You must first know how to do every single thing to be able to lead. And if others see you doing everything, they follow your footsteps, and then you can lead. So I was always one of those ones that led by example because of that. So I like that answer you gave.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, I was vocal. I wasn't real vocal, but I was vocal. But you was gonna want to follow me because of my work ethic for sure.
My voice carries, so my voice just naturally carries.
See, I wasn't that guy. We had plenty of those guys on the team. That wasn't really who I was. Like, after a big play, I get up and do my roar and stuff like that. Like, I talk my talk, but yeah, I wasn't that guy though.
I was more led by example, but at the same time, when I talk, you heard me because my voice, I'm just loud naturally.
Oh yeah. Nah, they respect the voice for sure. So like when I did talk, like they was locked in. But I wish I would have been a little bit more vocal growing up, especially in high school. Wish I could have been more vocal. I should have been. But at the end of the day, it's just like those are growing pains. You look back, no regret. It's just like, all right, I could be a better leader if I did this.
We all felt like we can do that, especially in moments that we have fell short. Because I definitely felt like I wish I was more of a vocal leader than I was in high school and college. And I wish I would have did more. But the same thing, it turns us to who we are today.
Yeah.
And that breeds, which makes why we here being successful.
And that's like stage one of that growth is like being aware.
Absolutely.
You gotta be aware of like what you did right, what you did wrong, where you want to get better at.
Absolutely.
And you gotta acknowledge it too, though. A lot of people don't acknowledge it.
That's tough. That's deep though.
You gotta acknowledge it.
Being in the tech world, what did you have to unlearn about yourself to be able to survive?
Well, especially like being an alpha in a way, you gotta learn not to be so aggressive. You got, especially if like you're new to the industry, you can't be too aggressive. You gotta really like kind of in a way take what comes in a way. So that was one thing. Another thing was like, you ain't the one that's running, as far as like running, catching the ball, and somebody else calling the plays. Now you're systemizing, you're strategizing on how you're going to execute this idea that you have at a high level as fast as you can, fail as fast as you can, and then reiterate. So those are the different things that I had to learn, and that it was a difference as far as like, coming from the football industry to the tech industry. Those were probably the main things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And just being able to like, I've always been creative. I've always been able to think. Like a lot of people can't think. It's crazy, but I've always been able to think creatively, and I feel like the football, it was just kind of like get to your point A, point B, catch the ball, make a miss, da da da. But when you get to the tech industry, I felt like I was creative on how to use the little funds that I had to get this bootstrap and get this idea off the ground. So I think that was something that was very different for me. Was managing funds. Like I blew through some funds because like I was very naive. Oh, I like that product. Let's go spend it on this. But in reality, the product is a product. Anybody can go build a product, but can you market that product? Can you get a team that can go out and sell that product? Can you could you illustrate that product, that vision that you have in front of thousands of people, in front of a room full of investors to where they'll write you a check? Those are all different things that I had to learn. I'm thinking you just go build the app, like people will come, but that's not how it goes.
So talk about the product, the app. How long did it take you to, to where you was actually happy with it? And how many trials and errors and how many failures did it take you?
Bro, it was so many failures, and because I had another mentor by the name of Mark Drake, and he basically, like, I met him at like a convention. I forgot which one, a small business conference or something like that. And he took me under his wings from there. Like, I don't know, he just seen something in me, I guess. He took me under his wings for like 3 or 4 years. And like, he taught me how to do like websites and all the graphics and stuff like that, kind of dress it up online, present yourself. So that was definitely a learning curve. But it was like, bro, we never really got out of the prototype stage because, like, you got to figure out, like, what is it that the audience want? Because I can sit here and say, I want this, I want that, but, like, are they going to pay for it?
Absolutely.
So you got to go do a lot of research in regards to, like, asking and beta testing and reiterating the whole entire product. And so, like, that being said, it was a lot that was just trial and error, and it was a lot of funds that was spent. Like we would go get the funds because like we had good credit and we had contacts, and then like we won, pitch competition, you get some grants and stuff like that. But it's like you just running through the funds, not really knowing. But it, like I said, it just made me who I am today as a leader, especially when it comes to like business.
Talk about that moment. You're in this new space. Was there ever a time, and if it was a time, when was that time that you ever questioned, do you actually belong here?
Man, it was several times, and the I feel like the going back to the purpose thing, like you gotta have purpose, and I feel like I was a representation of our culture in the tech industry because it's not a great amount of people that look like us or think like us or us that's in that industry. So I feel like I could be that example for the kid in the hood that they ain't going to play no sports. They ain't got no other opportunities at home besides, and no, it's no offense either, go work at, a welding manufacturing plant or sell drugs or just not do anything at all. And so I feel like they're on the game, they're on their laptops, they're on their cell phone. If we can teach them how to be creative and how to build things that bring value to the world, I feel like that was my purpose.
Gotcha. So now that you transitioned yourself, graduated from college, you've grown.
I had just got married too, probably like 2 years after college.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, well, I'm gonna ask it again then. All right. So now that so here we are. You graduated from Pittsburgh. You went off to college, did great things, graduated from a small college. Now you're in a big city. What did living in a big city teach you that living in East Texas couldn't?
Boy, that city moved fast. Like it moved fast. You gotta know how to adapt. And then at the end of the day is you can't look to your left and look to your right and know that person got your best interest.
Absolutely.
So you gotta really protect yourself and you gotta protect your peace. And I feel like I love the city because there's always something to do, always something to eat, da da da. But when you're in building mode, like what I was and still am, it's kind of hard for me to build when I'm spending an hour, 2 hours in the car every day. I'm getting home. It's kind of like I'm tired. It's just it was a lot, man. A lot of battles with that city, but I got a lot of family and friends out there, so it was always great social life. But like as far as like building wise, that wasn't where I wanted to be.
Man, I can't shake my head hard enough. I concur with everything that you saying because I live that same life. Love the city, love the pace of it. But as far as wanting to build something, I didn't feel like I could do that there because I was just moving. I was moving with the city.
Yeah.
I was wanting to stunt and be seen like everybody else was too.
You lose yourself in that city. And I mean, people do it. Like, don't get me wrong. People leave East Texas, go make a name for themselves in the city. You know, we could do that. It was just like, my first wife, she wanted to move back home, East Texas. I really wasn't opposed to it, but it kind of, I was like, bro, I really ain't trying to move back. But then we ended up moving back, and we had already planted some seeds as far as like doing a lot of community work and stuff here. Like after college, I had my my own event called Unlock the Block, and it was basically like this big block party that brought different people from walks of life together. We had like the speed camp, had the talent show, had the vendors and stuff out there, everything going on. So it's like people known us, like we were known for doing community work, and we were known for like bringing value to the community. So it's like when I came back, kind of another mentor, I was like, man, if I come back to East Texas, there's only really one place I really want to work, and that was at the college, at Northeast Texas Community College. And sure enough, like it was a position that opened up. My mentor was leaving. He put in my name, and like I had got hired out there. I spent like 3 years out there, and that was a great opportunity because that college, any college, it connects you to different communities and different people from all across the world. And so that's when I really got plugged in with Dangerfield, Mount Pleasant, Gilmore, like all those small towns in that area. And I was well known from the kids and everything like that. And so that was a really great opportunity coming back home. It's like being able to find purpose still whenever you did come home.
Absolutely. Man, I can't laugh enough or laugh hard enough because I agree with you with everything you said about the city. But at the same time, shout out to the ones that do make it there in the city.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then just shout out to the ones that know their lane. For me, I remember coming back home, visiting my family and friends, and then when I would come home, I never wanted to go back because I found peace here. I found like more a sense of belonging or a sense of being wanted here. And so for me, I always knew I wanted to go back to Longview, but I didn't know when I would go back to Longview. It was just one of those deals that just made it clear to me when I moved back home. When I came home and I would stay in Longview until it was literally the last minute for me to go back to Dallas.
I really love that view.
Did you ever feel like that too, or did you ever feel like you would ever move back to East Texas prior to when you did?
I felt like, even in college, my heart was always in East Texas. Like I would go back, during those breaks we would have. I would stay, then I'll leave, then I'll come back. Like I went home a lot. Especially when I had got married and engaged. We went home a lot. She's from Pittsburgh too. And it was just like, I just didn't see myself moving back. Like, I really didn't know I didn't know where I was going, to be honest. Like, I was in Durant for a while, then moved to the city for like 2 or 3 years, and then ended up going back. And it was like home. It was like where all my family was. My grandmas and stuff was still there. And so it was something that I just kind of got back adapted to, but I came back with a different mindset, different way of looking at the world, and different habits. And so I was different. So some people, like, they see you, they remember, the 18, 17-year-old, and it's like, nah, bro, that ain't, like, some of it's still me, but that ain't me, bro. Like, we moving different.
Absolutely. I can attest to that. A lot of people hate to move back to Longview because they feel like or move back to East Texas because it's never, they don't think it's nothing to do. But you make it.
You gotta make it.
You make what you want it to be, and there's plenty of opportunities, plenty of space for you to be able to make it. And that's a true statement when they say home is where the heart is. Man,
No,
I carry the city on my back and carry the city with a big chest on my heart, just as well as you do too with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, bro, and to that point, what we said earlier, like when you're in the country, you gotta imagine, like you gotta imagine what is it to do, like do I gotta go and create this experience?
Absolutely.
Like in the city, you can just pull up, you get the like whatever you want, like you get it, yeah, you get lost. But in the country, it's like you really gotta be creative with what you do. The house parties are still big, the block parties. You still got, if you wanted to do like we just did a kids financial seminar, just giving something for the kids to do. Kids training with the media, stuff like that. So it's like you just gotta be creative and you just gotta go create that lane and that avenue in the country.
And when you talk about creating those avenues and creating those opportunities, you always think ahead, and you always thinking, what else can I do?
Oh yeah.
You never feel like there was never a moment to be satisfied.
That's a gift and a curse, bro. Cause that can drain you too. Like I done been I done had like mental health problems. Like coming out of college, you at the pinnacle, you got this national spotlight, you at the Sugar Bowl, midfield, Tim Tebow. And then it's kind of like after all that's over with, you go back to the bottom. Yeah. And so like that was a hard transition. Yeah. Like from that period of time, going through the whole tech industry, not really knowing what the future holds. Like bro, I was down bad, bro. Like I would have blackouts. Like I'd be like abusing my body, drinking, smoking, like all of that, bro. Like not eating, staying up late, like just like driving myself crazy, having too much anxiety, too much depression, and then it was like. What hit me though, bro? Like it ain't funny, but it was funny. My brother, my cousin, he called me and he called me Eddie Kane. I said, I ain't going out like no Eddie Kane, dude. I said, you got me messed up. Hey, so dang Eddie Kane, like you could just tell, like I was stressed out, like I was going through it. And he called me Eddie Kane, and it was just like those words like that, bro. Like I snapped out of it. Eddie Kane was talented. Yeah. He was very talented. Yeah. But it was just like, just kind of went downhill. So I was like, that ain't where I see my life. So it was like, I had a great support system. And, they seeing it. They loved me so much. They seeing it. They telling me this and telling me that. And so it was a place I had to pull myself out of, though, at the end of the day. Still faith-driven. I had faith in God. But I just felt like it was a hard time, bro.
Yeah. So let's be transparent. Let's talk about if somebody's going through that moment right now, then they're stuck. They don't know how to get out of that rut that they're in. They feel like they're at the lowest of their lows. How were you able to physically get yourself out of there?
Man, I'm a huge believer that God will put a purpose in your life, whether you see it, whether you don't. And you can work that purpose, wake up every day with that purpose, and you can heal using that purpose. So I just feel like my purpose was to show people that things are possible no matter what adversity that you're going through. And I had this conversation too with one of my mentors, and I was like, man, because I was doing public speaking too in front of kids and everything. I'm like, man, I like the message, but I'm not really feeling the message all the way because I feel like I'm not living what I'm preaching. And so that was one of the main things that was identified as far as like how I got out of that was like living with purpose. Like even like friends today, like I tell them, like my homeboy just lost his mom, like, bro, you gotta find your purpose still, bro. Like life going on, like not to seem harsh or nothing, but life does go on. Like my homegirl just lost her nephew, like, man, I feel you, like grieve, how you gonna grieve? But my way of grieving was like waking up each and every day and going to work, feeling good about what I did that day.
Yes, sir. I think just looking at the 1%, looking at how you can get 1% better each day, and even if it's just small things, small step, that small step, and we're going back to the process. Fall in love with that process. Fall in love with that process. Not every day is gonna be peaches and cream. Not every day is gonna be flowers and bloom. It's gonna be some rainy days. It's gonna be falling flat on your face in the dirt. But you gotta pick yourself back up and be able to find a way to thrive and pick your way up, which is how we talk about the game of football.
Nah, for real. Game of runs.
Yeah, it's a game of runs. Basketball is the same way too. You're gonna have the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, and just the the setbacks. But it's how you come back is what's gonna set you up for success in the long run.
Nah, that's real, man. And I don't want people looking at my journey, and that's why I wanted to really do this too. I don't want them looking at my journey and just think that like everything was just smooth sailing. Like, nah, bro. Like, I'm facing adversity, or I faced adversity just like you. Like, growing up in Pittsburgh, going to college, even getting to college, coming out of college. Like, even today, like, I'm still facing adversity. Like, it was about 2 years ago, man. I was sitting with my grandma, both of my grandmas, and like on my dad's side, that grandma, she ended up going to Missouri. Her and her like 7 siblings, and whoever. It was like 9 of them in the car. So they going to Missouri to see my uncle's wife because she had passed in a car accident. And so they get like 30 minutes from the hospital, bro, and they get in the accident. And like my grandma passed, and I'm just sitting with my grandma the night before. My grandma passed, my auntie passed, my uncle passed. And it was just like that hit me and shook me up the most out of like anything else, because it's like, bro, I was just with her, bro, like. And then that was like, like we spent like when I came back to East Texas, I spent a lot of time with my grandmas, and it's just like, dang, like for that to happen, and like life still gotta go on, bro. Like, it's crazy, but it's like you gotta have that purpose, bro. Cause like I could have easily went down here right there, and then what was even more crazy, like when I was still working at the college, they gave me like 3 days to grieve. Like, I'm like, bro, 3 days, bro. Like, that's kind of like, I don't really care about you, but like, type, like that's how I felt. Like, I know business is business. You still got to continue to operate because that's how I am. But like, bro, for y'all even to like even say or do that, I knew like, bro, they ain't really got my best interest. So that's why I wasn't really tripping when I had went full time.
They tolerate you as long as they can until they can replace you.
And that was like, that hit me, bro. Like, because I was already going through it. Like, and I'm like, what? 3 days?
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough for anybody that, dealing with grieving, because you never know how long it's going to take a person. You never know how close you are to that person. That's why I'm always just been an advocate, just giving that person however long they live, because everybody grieve differently. Everybody take or handle turmoil differently from each and every person. So putting a cap on how many days a person needs, I've never been big on that. But I
get it though.
Yeah,
I get it
because life does go on too.
I get it.
But it's tough. It's tough at the same time. But nobody gonna look out for you better than who yourself.
Nah, not at all. And that was something too. Like during that moment, I mean, you get a lot of love, and I'm sure if you lost anybody, like people were only there for like that moment.
Absolutely.
And so it was a bunch of people there for that moment, man. Bunch of people. But it was only a small few. And this is one lady, and I say one lady, she kind of like my grandma too. She's my grandpa's, before he passed, wife. And like, she texts me every day, call me every day still, to this day. And just letting me know she here for me. And it was just like, to know you got this side, they gonna give you 3 days, but then this side right here, they gonna walk with you. They really there for you. So it's like, and that's something that whenever you do have that stardom, kind of going back to like the college experience, like everybody's gonna gravitate towards you, but you don't really know if you ain't like emotionally intelligent, or if you ain't aware, or if you don't have people looking in the background, like back there in the back looking at you in the limelight, telling you, nah, these people are here fake. Like, they may come off like this, like they look like it's a lot that goes into that. And so I'm able to navigate that a lot better now. And not saying people are out to get you or anything like that. It's just like I just kind of see through things a lot better.
You transferred from the tech side of things, and you pivot to a different space. You're picking up a camera.
Yeah.
How did the camera become your new platform?
Bro, it was crazy how I got involved with the camera, because, so kind of going back to the tech industry, I had another app idea. So after COVID, or during COVID, the whole dating app, it kind of went away. And then after COVID, I ended up going into teaching and coaching. And then while I was teaching and coaching, we came up with this app idea called concession delivery, where they wouldn't allow people to go to the concession stand. They wanted you to social distance. So we was like, let's create the app like Uber, da. And so we ended up testing that out and piloting that, and it did well. We actually made some money from that app. And then it was like we just kind of grew that over the years, went to different venues and things like that. And so after a while, though, it was like to scale it, you needed like thousands and thousands of dollars, whatever. And we realized that whenever we went to Dallas and we was in this startup, we call it Accelerator, to where we spent like 13 weeks in Dallas. I was going back and forth to Dallas 13 weeks in a row. And we was pitching the idea. They was teaching us how to market, teaching us how to, put your pitch deck together, how to articulate it and stuff like that in 3 minutes, 1 minute, stuff like that. So we was getting real educated when it came to the tech industry. But I had a mentor. He was leading that accelerator. His name Javi Martinez out there in Dallas, well connected. He was like, man, you need to show people how big football is in East Texas. And so that's really how it started. I'm like, bro, we just need to do like a documentary series or something like that. Me not having no experience at all, I'm like, bro, we finna just go in with it and figure it out. So that football season rolled around, and we was gonna do my documentary too during that time. So football season rolled around. All I had was an iPhone, bro. I'm at the games that will start out at the practices. I'm just bringing the iPhone out, just record, and then I had like an app. Put the video inside the app, and then that mother just produced a highlight. I post it. Probably wouldn't get no likes with no views because you knew, like, you just started. Don't nobody know you for that, like. So you knew, and I wasn't really tripping on that because it's like I gotta figure this out anyway because we're gonna do it. And so it's just like time after time, staying consistent, stacking them days. So then next thing you know, we had that's when I had met. We had the app, that concession app. So we still running that concession app during that season while I'm starting to do the video. And we had it at Texas High. And so it became a time, bro. We had the app going, then I'm on the field, I'm doing the recording. So it's like you becoming well known out there, in East Texas. And so then it's like Dangerfield, bro. It just took off in Dangerfield. Like we did like 5-6 games in Dangerfield, and like we was getting cold with the highlights. Our turnaround time was crazy. Like we had a 1-day turnaround. Like that's our competitive advantage. Like in this world too, right now, it's like, bro, you ain't finna have no turnaround time. Like we got our turnaround time.
You're man of your word with the turnaround time.
Hey, bro, I'm talking about 1 day. Like, and it was like the quality of the video. It wasn't always the best, but it was just the fact that you made the people feel involved.
Absolutely.
You made the people feel like they was a part of it. And then you did it to where you was highlighting the athletes too. So like, there's a bunch of people that didn't really know about Bubba Hampton. There's a bunch of people that didn't know about Jalen Holloway. There's a bunch of people that didn't know about the people like over there in Gilmore until they seen those videos. And so it's like, bro, this is it right here, bro. Because you still doing everything that you've been doing. You got the community involved, you got the football involved, and you still in tech. Media is still tech. And so it was like Dangerfield put us on. We was going to different schools, T-High, Gilmore, Pittsburgh, and then it was that one game, that state championship game in Gilmore. Morgan got me access through Longview Game Day, got me on the field and everything. And that's when it really blew up. Like we did that state championship video, we had them all got the next day.
To be honest, man, I think that's when around that time, that's when I started noticing you too. I started noticing your work and just everything that it was you was following the East Texas teams, and you was your turnaround was so fast, and it was great in my opinion, because I'm novice to all of this, so it looked good. It looked good to me. So I became a fan instantly, just the way that the way you carried yourself in business. It was, as far as, with the camera, being professional, producing great work. I salute you to that, man, because I jumped on board and became a fan of your work fast.
Nah, I appreciate that though, man. And it was, and what's crazy though, like that camera, and I tell people this day, that camera made me more popular than being a record-breaking football athlete. That's crazy, bro.
Yes, sir.
Like I can like even here, like I may go to Chili's or something, and like somebody they may be from Longview or not, but they may see me. Ain't you the dude to be doing the highlight? And I'll be like, dang, bro, yeah, I am. Like it's like the word be spreading, especially with social media. Like the word be spreading, but then again, like if we wasn't that consistent, like we would never have like the buzz that we got. And so now this going into our third football year. Like last year was our second. So last year, I actually had a camera. My mom got me a camera for Christmas. Best Christmas present I could have asked for. Cause I be like, man, if y'all gonna give me anything, give me something I'm gonna make money with. Like that's kind of my whole mindset. So they ended up she got me a camera. It was a starter camera, but I was like, it's better than nothing. It took me some time though to transition from the phone. I still use my phone a lot, but transition from my phone to get comfortable with like my actual camera. Like I kept that mug in a box for like 4 months, like for real. And so then I brung it out, and that's when I got into photos. And so then I'm like, the photos just kind of fell in my lap, but people really were liking the photos, and I'm like, bro, we got something, bro. Like you just keep doing this, and then that's kind of when I went full time, bro. I was like, bro, I'm finna, cause I had some. I ain't gonna say issues at the college. It was just some things that was being demanded there. And then things away from the college, they was monitoring. I'm like, why y'all monitoring, da-da-da? And I'm handling my business. Absolutely. So I had to make a decision. So I bet it on myself. And then at the time, too, I did go through a divorce. And it was just like, I'm kind of by myself, bro. Like, going through all that, too. Like, going through a divorce, like, really, bro, I slept out my office, having them sleepless night. Like, I sleep out my office. Sleep out the office, sleepless nights, bro, not knowing when my next dollar gonna come. Like, all of this is all going on behind the scenes that people don't really know. All they seeing is the product that we putting out there, which is great, but I just want people to know, like, bro, I'm human too. Like, we out here having a battle and overcome these battles and these adversities that we going through, but we just waking up every day trying to win the day. That's the main thing.
All right, give me your opinion on how does it feel being behind the scenes, behind the lens, telling somebody else's story?
Man, it's a really great feeling because, like, you kind of got, like, somebody's legacy in your hands. Mm-hmm. Like, you the one storytelling their legacy. And you know that if you're recording it, that becomes a digital asset that can be relived 10, 15 plus years from now. And like, I don't take that lightly because I want their because I'm thinking of my legacy, but I'm also thinking of theirs. And I want them to be in the best light. And so that's something that I don't take lightly, and it's something that I always think about. Video has been here years ago, it's still here, and it's gonna forever be here, I feel like. And I just be thinking about like all the loved ones that I had that, has passed on. If we would have had more video of them. Yeah. And so, or even just photos or just documentation of their legacy. So that's why I take pride in doing so. Boy, Tom behind the camera.
Hold on, I'm gonna switch it though.
Nah, okay. When I tell you, man, I can't tell you enough how dope he is with the camera.
We're gonna have to link up, bro.
I can't tell you enough how dope he is.
Yeah, we're gonna have to link up though.
Man, I remember the first time I met Tom, obviously, it was through a service and him cutting my hair. And we had a connection just like that. Mm-hmm. It was like we been knowing, we was like this, and then I think after the third time he was like, bro, you wanna make a standing appointment?
I was trying to get you on that subscription.
Seriously, I needed it.
Yeah,
I needed
you on that subscription.
It was like, I remember after I left here, I was like, bro, this is it. I love it.
Yeah.
This is it. I was like, man, he paid attention to details, or what I consider details, what I like and what I don't like. I only got to tell him once, and I ain't never got to tell him again. He knows what I want.
Nah, that's what's up, man.
And now it was to the point where he was like, man, let's try to taper your size. You mind if I taper your size? I'm like, bro, do your thing. And it's been like that ever since. How do you balance being builder, creator, and all things combined with what you do now?
Builder, creator, and all things combined in what I'm doing. I think it just goes back to that purpose. Like, why am I doing this? Like, what am I building? And I build a lot. Like, I like to be creative. I like to take action. I like to draw up a play. And I get a lot of joy from seeing it be executed and do more than what I expected it to do. And then I love when people can gain inspiration from what we're building, what we're creating. So I think Nipsey said that, whoever said the most highest act as a human being that you can do is to inspire someone. And so I feel like that's my way of doing so. Like, if it's some idea that you've been sitting on, it's some plan that you got that you ain't took action on. Like, I want you to look at me, not just looking at me to be like, oh, he can do it, I can't. No, it's like, oh, if he can do it, I can. Yeah. You feel me? So that's how I want people to view me in anything that I'm building or creating.
Yeah. What is your biggest why or your biggest reason for, doing this media content or getting in this media space and being the guy behind the lens?
I think it started out with, I was kind of selfish. It was like, I just want to document my documentary. Yeah. And then it's like I started to get the passion and the purpose from documenting other people. And now it's like, it's so much demand that I can't go supply. So it's only right that I go create more leaders and create more content creators and digital creators. And that's why we're really big on this whole digital media academy called DigiEd. And it's going to be, it's an academy where we're implemented into all these ISDs as a CTE program. And now the students are getting their credits, they're getting incentivized or whatever, but they're also getting real life experience, because it's a lot of raw talent, bro, out here in East Texas. Was a young lady, young man, that everybody got phones, everybody can use the phone. So it's like we're teaching them how to go build these in-demand skills and make money from it. Yeah. And really just deploy these people out here at these games, whether it's the games, whether it's doing the prom photos, senior photos, events, birthday parties. Like, we want these students, and we say students, we want the kids out there being the front runners of what's going on in this tech industry, in this media industry, because it's a lot going on. And even coming from the tech industry, a lot of people say, the rural areas are like 7 to 10 years behind than what's really going on in the world. So I feel like I could be a part of accelerating that growth and accelerating the skills that the students pick up on, that they can go implement in the communities. Because you think about this, like, if the kids are using these skills, the business is going to grow, because now the businesses can go hire these kids at an affordable rate, not saying cheap rate, at an affordable rate, to where they can go do more marketing on social media. They can enhance and be ahead of the time, or during the modern times. And so I just feel like the schools are going to benefit too, because it's a war right now with like the whole traditional school system. And if like they ain't figuring it out on how to keep these kids active and on how to keep these kids engaged, and making money is a way to keep them engaged, that I've realized. It's like if you ain't doing it in a way to where they're engaged and active, then you're gonna lose them to like private schools, or you're just gonna lose them to where your numbers gonna go down. Like, they gonna go somewhere else. And it's just a whole lot of different factors that goes into that. But the traditional school system broken, right? Yeah, it's broken. And so, and I just think that like it's only right too, because like even like as a high schooler, like I was that kid walking around with a duffel bag, full of snapback hats, burning the CDs, doing all that, making my money, like being a hustler. And it was one time like I had got pulled into the office because I guess they heard. And like I had a duffel bag. Like I'm walking around the school with a duffel bag in the classroom. Like, bro, why you got this duffel bag? And so you can go ask like, the principal, like Coach Cleveland and Tyrone, all them in Pittsburgh. Like, they pulled me in there and like they made me pull all my product out, and they was just like, whoa, like. And I was like, I was used to seeing people, hustle. So it's like it wasn't nothing new to me. It was just the fact that I seen something that people wanted, and I seen I can make $1 from it.
It didn't matter if you were selling candy.
Yeah, exactly.
We had candy bins when I was
exactly.
in school, so.
Exactly. And that was, it was crazy. That was like one of my first times, like, I've been on the internet, But when I was able to order those hats and that product from overseas, that was my first time like, bro, like you real life, like you doing supply and demand as far as like you doing business overseas in a way. Yeah. And it was on a small scale, but it's still like acknowledging the fact of like you was a teenager placing these orders, having to wait to receive the order from China, then you getting it, breaking it down, then you know, supplying the people that, you know, they wanted it. Yeah. So that's why I feel like it's only right that I come back to East Texas and we create more self-sufficient students.
So wanting to give back to East Texas right now, what is your current focus on? What are you investing in? Not only just financially, but spiritually, physically. What are you putting your time and effort into now?
Man, whenever you are purpose driven and you waking up and you declaring greatness every single day, that comes with a lot. Like you in the limelight, so it's a lot of stress, a lot of different opinions. People saying you should do it this way. People may be mad at you because you're more consistent than them. Like that's a real thing. So it's like you taking on all that, you gotta make sure you pouring into yourself, because if not, you're gonna be stressed out, you're gonna be depressed, you're gonna be driving yourself crazy. So I really take pride in like spa days, like going to the spa, doing the sauna, doing the red light therapy, doing the floating pods, getting my massages. You know, I'm gonna take my trips. Like that's kind of the only time I really get to take a break. I'm gonna go take a vacation. Like I take pride in doing those things because like I know what that can do to your body and what they can do to your mind, and like I don't want to go down that route. Like I want a long life.
taking care of yourself. Well, nobody's gonna take care of yourself better than what you're gonna take care of yourself. You shouldn't rely on somebody to take better care of you than what you should do yourself.
Real talk.
So taking those things, taking those breaks, getting you know what your body needs, whether it's the spa days, whether it's the trips, whatever your love language is to yourself. You gotta do that because that's what's gonna honestly make you the better person.
That's real though. That is, and you know, a lot of people, they may not want to do the massages. I like the therapy too. You know, I had to go to therapy. There's nothing wrong with therapy. I feel like I had came out better than what I did go in.
Absolutely.
And it's like now I understand myself more. I got a lot of confirmation. I'm able to communicate better.
Absolutely.
I'm not afraid to not as afraid to really express myself and not feel judged about it.
Yeah.
It's like those are all things that, especially in the black community, bro, we don't hear nothing about no therapy. We don't hear nothing about going to get massages.
especially the generations that taught us with our grandparents and our parents. They was taught to keep everything in house.
Real talk.
This generation, our generation, we like, nah, we need to let it out. We feel better about letting it out. So whether it's seeking that advice or seeking that help, if that's what you need, I highly suggest any and everybody to do it. You know, I did it going through marriage counseling, of course, seeking to talk to somebody, but that it only helped me. It helped me in my marriage, but it helped me as to become a better person too. So if ever that I feel like I need it, I would definitely go back to it too. I think that is a great thing. Yeah. To just whatever you need to flower yourself, to water yourself, keep doing that. And I think that's a big thing that people need to do.
Yeah, I believe that too, man. And I'm just at a young age, because I'm 31. I consider myself young. It's still like it's amazing to be able to accomplish all the things that we accomplished. Mm-hmm. But it's like there's always more. And like I said, it's a blessing and a curse, but there's always more. And I love it. That's what I thrive off of, because it's like I know I'm not getting comfortable. I know I'm always stay driven. Yeah. Even if I'm in these rooms, people got way more success, way more money. Like, it's always more to go accomplish. And it's not necessarily accomplishing it, for myself, but it's just like I'm keeping the people involved. Like, I want other people to win in life. Absolutely. And so, like, sometimes I'll be wanting people to win more than they want themselves to win, or see more in them than they see in themselves. But I just think that they just come with it too, though.
Absolutely. If someone only knew the highlight reel of your life, what would you want them to understand what would you want them to know the process it took you to get there, and how ultimately you got here?
Man, that's a loaded question. But if I was to break that down, I want them to know that I'm human, for sure. Like, that's number one. That I do have my doubts at times, whether it's like my internal doubts or doubts about external factors. I do have doubts, but I have to overcome those doubts. I do have delayed gratification, as we realized as well, detours. But at the end of the day, I feel like there's always divine timing, it's perfect timing for whatever's happening in your life right now. My life, your life. You got to be where your feet are, and you got to make the most of that atmosphere, that environment that you're in to get the most out of it. And then just be thinking ahead. Like, don't be so stuck in your environment to where you can't think outside that environment and imagine what you can do with the skills that you may be building or the relationships that you're building today, or anything that you have going on. Don't be so stuck in just that environment. And I feel like although we are 903 Media, and although I take pride in 903, I know there's going to be a time where we grow outside of that. Like, and I'm not in any rush, because I feel like East Texas alone is still untapped, and there's so much that we haven't done here. But I just know that, it's about to get bigger than what it is. Absolutely. Like, we already get invited. We just got invited to go to Vegas to be a cameraman for this one guy. He's an investor. We just got another invite to go to Jamaica to do a wedding. So it's like all of these different opportunities are coming up. Ishmael over there in Gilmer, like, he's gone. Like, that's what his opportunity that he have right now and where he's positioned is like amazing. Like, he have opportunity to have a Wimbyamba story. like for real, coming from me. Like, I mean, he's from France, but being here in East Texas in Gilmer, like, and have that opportunity to be his content source, like, it's amazing that the camera has brung us to where we're at.
Man, I think the little buzz that he has right now is only finna get amplified. Get big fast.
Oh yeah.
Because now you finna see him on the Friday Night Lights. You finna see him actually. You see what this guy really is about. Not only is he performing in the classroom, but in the practice field, the weight room. But he's finna get a chance to translate this into the bigger stage, and that's on Friday Night Lights up there on the football field.
Yes, indeed, and it's against top schools too. Like, they gotta Gilman got a tough schedule, man.
Tough schedule, man. You got Carthage coming up.
Yeah, they got Carthage
to start the season.
They got like six schools that's like top ranked or whatever in on their schedule. So like, he gonna see the competition and like he gonna perform and do what we expect him to do. Like, he should blow up, and it's on our end too to like make him look like the superstar he is online. And that's where we coming in at, to where we're gonna document his legacy. Absolutely. Like, we're gonna hold on to that.
I look forward to it as a Lobo.
There's a lot going on with the Lobos too.
I'm gonna be pulled in different areas, but I'm gonna be keeping up and seeing how he's doing, and not only him, just the East Texas as a whole. So I look forward to that.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. I want people to know, like, although I am from Pittsburgh, like, I represent East Texas 903. Like, we take pride. Even when we went to college, like, we from East Texas. Like, are you from East Texas? Like, we take pride in that.
Absolutely. It's us. It feels like it's us versus everybody.
Everybody.
If one team from East Texas win, we all win.
Right.
And that's just the love that we all have for each other. I think that's why when you see like other people from East Texas out somewhere, you instantly start rooting for them, and you instantly just you lock in because you have the same story as them, and you resonate with everything that they go through or they went through. And so when you see them outside of East Texas, you instantly tied to them, and you instantly become a friend, a brother, a family, because you come from the same things.
You got something in common.
Absolutely.
And that's home.
Just a few more questions, and then we're gonna wrap it up. You've been gracious with your transparency and with your time. One of my last questions: what does building a legacy to you look like?
Building a legacy to me looks like doing something, building something that lasts longer than your physical physical presence.
Yes.
Whether that's something, a business, whether it's a building, whether that's, energy that you transferred, whether it's your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like that's legacy, and it still speaks to the words that you would speak of it if you were still here.
Yeah.
I feel like that's legacy to me, and it's being represented in the way that you would want it to be represented if you were still here.
Look, that's deep. All right, my last question. When you look in the mirror and you look, it's just you versus you, I versus me. What would you say your biggest adversity that you've been able to overcome? And just tell the people how you can be able to overcome anything that you put your mind to.
Yeah, the biggest adversity that I've had to overcome is really like just doing it even if you don't know if it's gonna work, or doing it even if you don't know it's gonna be a success as you envision it, and doing it even if people don't even accept it, but just doing it anyway and proving yourself right. I'm really big on that. So when I look myself in the mirror, I want to look myself in the mirror and know you proved yourself right. You didn't need the validation of anybody that's not in that mirror. You proved yourself right. And so I take pride in that, and I feel like other people should, especially when you're creative. That's one of the hard parts. It's you just creating, you just imagining doing this, doing that. Even with the videos, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this video when I first get there. I have an idea, but it's whenever I grab the content, I go home. Now I'm sitting in front of my phone. I do most of everything from my phone. I'm sitting in front of my phone. Now it's what do I want? What's gonna make me be dang, I felt that? Because if I be dang, I felt that, then I'm gonna be confident enough to post it. I'm gonna post it anyway, but I'm gonna be confident enough to post it, and then I'm gonna let the world tell me what they felt about it. But at first, I'm validating my expression of what I felt about it.
Absolutely, man. Kaymon, man, I appreciate the
yes,
time.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, bro.
I appreciate the opportunity. Man, I hope everybody enjoyed this just as well as I have. And shoot, let us know if y'all want to continue to see us do this more and more. Again, I'm Keaton Daniels. This is Kaymon Foreman. Peace out. Love you guys.
Let's go.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
you, bro.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
That one was dope.